that ACB, our organization, is strong. It is strong not only in treasure, it is strong in talent, and it is strong in volunteer time. It is all of us coming together to make a difference. In ACB, we did it. We did it. When others thought we couldn't, we stepped up. We made a difference with our time. Over 42,000 hours of volunteer time from our organization and our members this year, worth over $1 million. Us, blind people helping blind people. Talent. Oh my gosh, the talent that this organization shows day in and day out. From our Friends in Art Showcase to our amazing primetime shows that you'll see this weekend, to our advocacy efforts, to our willingness to get together person by person and support each other. Support each other at a time when we needed it the most. Through a huge year of an amazing worldwide pandemic, ACB did not falter. We stood strong. We not only stood strong, we grew, we advanced. I come to you tonight happy to let you know that the ACB Treasury is in the finest position it's been in the history of the American Council of the Blind. We sit with endowment funds worth over $5.3 million, funding our scholarships into the future, giving ourselves a healthy board reserve. So if once again we have a crisis, we have the reserves to deal with it. That we have now a legacy endowment fund with over $1.7 million and growing. 5.3 million. There's people out there that I can thank. I know they have to have a smile on their face, and I won't mention too many names, but the Carla Rushables, the Mitch Pomerantzes, the people that work, the Ron Millimans, the people that work so hard to make sure we would have financial stability. And we still have a long way to go, but I'm here to tell you we are the healthiest we've ever been. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to the 5 living ACB presidents who gave of their time and talent and their treasury in some cases to help build this organization. Kim Charlson, Mitch Pomerantz, Chris Gray, Paul Edwards, and Oral Miller. 5 members of our organization who gave us the foundation on which to build a brighter future. I'm also here to celebrate a convention like none other. Janet did a wonderful job of welcoming us to our 2021 ACB Conference and Convention. Better together wherever we are. And boy, nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, so we have done so much as an organization. This convention will feature 166 breakout sessions with over 400 participants. We've trained 125 Zoom hosts, and 40-something of them will be participating through this convention this week. We have dozens of broadcasters for ACB Media. We will have a series of amazing primetime shows throughout the week. And we as an organization have come together and are working to be inclusive like we've never been before. We will see for the first time that all our members will have an opportunity to vote, to exercise their democratic right to be a member of the American Council of the Blind as we conduct 13, that's right, 13 candidate elections. We have also stepped forward in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion. changing our board policies to allow people to have more easy access to become board members by increasing our board stipend. Also, by allowing more flexibility for people to participate in a hybrid virtual environment if traveling is difficult for them, either because of their health or their financial commitments or their work-life balance. We have worked to include extra fields in our membership database, recommended and voted by our membership through a resolution presented by our Multicultural Affairs Committee, that we will identify, if people want to, it's voluntary, but we will track our gender identity and we will track our race and ethnicity. We will learn who makes up our membership, and we will be able to use that information to intentionally work for grants and further improve our investments in all of our communities of color, our communities of Spanish language. We have now are offering monthly Spanish language community events only in Spanish for people who are more comfortable in that environment. So as you see, we have worked so hard to become what Penny Reeder says, that I love this quote. So Penny, I'm going to steal it from you tonight. ACB has become the organization that I always thought it could be and hoped it could be. Thank you, Penny, for those words. And thank you, ACB, for all you've done to get us to this point in time. We have many more challenges ahead, but we together will meet those challenges. Remember, ACB, we did it, and we will continue to do it. And now I'll be back for some closing thoughts, but now I'd like to introduce Eric Bridges, our Executive Director, a partner, a colleague, a man who has an amazing vision for this organization. And I'd like him to share some of our advancements and advocacy, to share with you what we've been able to do to grow out our staff and professionalize our environment. Eric, it's a pleasure and honor to work with you, and I'd love to welcome you to this state of the message. So, Eric?
Thank you, Dan. It's hard to top what you just said.
You'll do it, I know.
Yeah. Well, good evening, everybody. I am so happy to be with all of you this evening. There is a word that immediately comes to mind over the last year when I take a look around at all that has happened and all that is going on, and that word is growth. The financial growth that Dan spoke about earlier has enabled us to very strategically invest those financial resources into employees. And this year, I'm proud to say that we have welcomed 5 new individuals to Team ACB. Just since March, as a matter of fact, which is a little crazy for us. We've never gone through this level of growth, but these individuals are necessary for us to continue our mission and to continue to do more for not just ACB, but for the broader community, because there are folks that do not belong to ACB that call us, that reach out every single day. And we're there to help them as well. So just wanted to recognize these 5 individuals. In March, Swatha Nandakumar joined the team as our advocacy and outreach specialist. We enjoyed very much working with Claire Stanley over the last couple of years, and she elected to move on to another opportunity. So we welcomed Swatha, and it's been great having her on board. Also in March, we welcomed as an employee Jolene Bailey Page as our audio description project coordinator and grant writer. It's wonderful to have her, and actually she's here with us this evening on the other side of the wall. It's been great to have her in the office as she lives out in the San Francisco Bay Area. In April, we were so fortunate to receive some funding from the Gibney Family Foundation to be able to provide some much needed assistance for all of the community work that exploded over the last year. And we're very excited to bring on to the team Colby Garrison, who lives in North Carolina. In May, we hired, and this is a big step for us as an organization, as the communications function within ACB has not really been professionalized in our history. In May, we hired a manager of communications. She lives in Savannah, Georgia. Her name is Jennifer Flatt, and she's hit the ground running. It's been great. And then just within the last month, we hired an individual to come work with us here in the national office. As you all are aware, we receive a pretty tremendous volume of phone calls during the week from folks who are members, folks who aren't members, frankly, family members and friends of individuals that are losing their vision. And it is a capacity challenge for us at times to do the work of the organization and also field all of these calls. And so June 21st, I was very happy to announce that Deborah Brown, she goes by Debbie, would be joining the team to help us with those phone calls as well as assist the staff. It's been great to have Debbie on the team, and really happy that we're getting to know her, and she's hit the ground running, actively contributing to the team. So that's a lot. We are finished for fiscal year 2021 with our hiring. I would like to acknowledge the work of Erica Keller, who is our HR specialist that worked with us, as well as the hiring managers, to identify the great candidates, the finalists, and ultimately the folks that I'm speaking about now. So also within the last year, in April of 2020, we began a journey, the journey of EOS. What is EOS? It's not like ELO, the 70s classic rock band. EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System, which essentially is it's a methodology or a structure for how to manage an organization. And let me tell you, this organization is complex. Being a member organization, having 30, I believe it's 38 different committees, the affiliate structure, it is, which we don't manage. But being able to include folks, being able to better understand how we operate and how we can continue to evolve in the 21st century as a national organization. And so EOS has helped us with that. To kind of parallel that, as part of EOS, there's something called the L10 Meeting. And really it's designed to be a 90-minute meeting where you go through a series of short discussions to better understand what is happening. Spending a little bit of time getting to talk to one another about personal and professional highlights from the last week. Going over data, being able to talk about rocks, and rocks in this instance means the objectives, the quarterly objectives that you have set for yourself or for the organization, or that others have set. Talking about if you're on track to accomplish those rocks or not. To be able to identify, discuss, and solve outstanding issues as a team. This is a very big thing. To be able to ultimately at the end solve, and sometimes solving means that there are to-dos, action items that come from that. that you or others will be going off and taking care of that would have a deadline in a week or two. Why am I saying this? Well, the leadership team of this organization embraced this concept of a meeting like this. And every Thursday we get together, do the 90 minutes. It's been wonderful for our own sanity in a lot of ways, to be able to track how we're doing, the successes, but also the things that are still hanging that we need to take care of. As we began to get better at this, and we're not perfect at it, we decided to talk about it with the affiliate presidents as well as the committee chairs of this fine organization to offer it up as a potential structure for the monthly meetings that the committees and steering committees have. And it's been wonderful to watch the L10 format roll out across our steering committees and now several of our committees. And it was nice to hear earlier today during the committee chairs meeting just how many of the committees are utilizing it. It can be customized. It can work for you in whatever way you want, but there's a template there that allows for great communication and ultimately achievement. It's been a wonder for me as well as the folks that work with me on a day-to-day basis. I appreciate it so much. So over the last year, I hope that you've witnessed an increase in how we communicate with you all and the means through which we are doing it every day, whether it's constant contact with dots and dashes, whether it's our podcasts, whether it's the Braille Forum, whether it's Twitter and Facebook, YouTube, and accompanying live streaming videos, which we're doing a lot of these days. So much has happened. I am very proud to be able to share the launch of acbmedia.org, which took place on July 1st. All of you at one point or another have gone to acbradio.org to download podcasts, to listen to the various streams for ACB Radio. ACB Media is the 21st, it's the 2021 version of ACB Radio. It has all 10 of our streams. It's got our podcasts. It has the forum. It's got our blog, all contained there. All of our digital communications are there. And it's been a little over a year in the making. It is fast. It is helpful. And I would like to publicly recognize and thank Jeff Bishop, board member of ACB, for all of his time and efforts to ensure that it was up and running before this convention. Thank you, Jeff. In May, as I said, we welcomed Jennifer Flatt to our team to help coordinate all of these many communications channels. It has been great to get to know her. She has, vast experience in having worked in the Canadian government doing communications work for the Prime Minister, and look forward to those of you out there getting to know her as the year and years move on. We did something last night that was pretty fun. We kicked off a campaign, the first of its kind, at least with regard to ACB. We kicked off the Get Up and Get Moving campaign. What is it? Well, this is a 3-year campaign that's focused on us as a community getting up and getting moving. Duh, right? Well, the pandemic taught us a lot of things. One of the things that it really showed, which was unpleasant, was how many of us really weren't getting up and getting moving, even before the pandemic. And unfortunately, it became even more challenging during the pandemic. Diabetes is the largest cause of blindness in working age individuals these days. So diabetic retinopathy, right? How do we begin to deal with that? How do we begin to deal with the psychological challenges that we've encountered along with the health challenges over the last year? It's time for us to get up and walk around, run around, exercise. That is what the Get Up and Get Moving campaign is all about. It's about taking back our independence and our health. Whether it's walking around your neighborhood, going to a track at a high school, going to a health club, could just be doing sit-ups in your living room. Having the ability to move, to work up a sweat, even if it's 10, 15 minutes a day, does you so much good from a health, but also mental health standpoint. To go along with that, there's really an advocacy component to this as well. We want to raise awareness of the challenges that our community still has in accessing fitness equipment as well as durable medical equipment. So devices that help us monitor and maintain our own health so that we in turn can take back our own health and not rely upon loved ones or friends to let us know, what our glucose is reading, or what our temperature is, or what our blood pressure is. Those are all things that we should know. So doing outreach to those sectors of corporate America through this campaign, very important. Would like to recognize Vanda Pharmaceuticals for being a health hero, and climbing aboard this campaign to be able to really give the visibility that, if you're not sleeping well, there are going to be some other challenges that you have. And obviously their medication, along with just their overwhelming support of our organization over the last several years, not just the national organization, but many state affiliates. It's been tremendous. So thank you very much, Vanda. In October, we're going to kick this off in person on October 15th in New York City. We're going to have a walk. It's going to be great. There will be more details on this to come, but it's going to be a first of its kind from our perspective, and want folks to consider coming. We will also likely have a component of this for folks to be able to participate remotely as well. Holy cow, ACB is 60 years old. ACB doesn't look a day over 40. July 7th, we celebrated the 60th birthday of this fine organization. And we also started the 60 for 60 campaign, which is seeking to raise $60,000 over the next year. And we've hit the ground running. We've raised $1,800 thus far. And I'm very proud to announce that Vispero has made a large donation that seeks to help us in this 60 for 60. In the next couple of days, you'll be seeing more details on the donation and how you and other corporate partners can help us achieve that $60,000 goal. Advocacy. You probably thought he's not talking about advocacy. Advocacy is at the core of me. As some of you may know, I led our governmental affairs and advocacy work for many years here. And it's still a big part of my overall interest. And frankly, I'm a blind guy, so I live advocacy at times as well. We've had some tremendous success over the last year in a couple of different areas, and I just want to highlight the work that we've done in voting and ensuring accessible, independent voting for folks who are blind. Much of this work has been led in our office by Clark Rockfall, our Director of Advocacy and Governmental Affairs. He has worked with a great deal of collaboration with many of our state affiliates. Upwards of 12 affiliates around the country have witnessed increased accessibility in accessible voting, which is really, it's awesome. You know, being able to electronically receive your ballot, mark it, and then return it. That's real independence. That's real security from our perspective. Some of this has come through administrative changes in the states. Some of it has come through legislative changes within the states, and some of it has had to come through litigation. States like North Carolina, Massachusetts, Delaware, Maine, West Virginia have all witnessed increased accessibility to remote voting, and I'm so pleased. We are recognized as an influencer, as a real subject. We've got the subject matter expertise to deal with this. The states are where the votes take place, and so each state is different. It has its own unique contours, and state presidents have reached out. Sometimes we've reached out to state presidents, but it's been great. Our work is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Clark, along with other state affiliate presidents, the work continues on in places like Illinois and Kentucky. So there's that. How about accessible currency? Accessible currency is the long ongoing challenge that we face. The 2008 court order really dictates that the nation's paper currency should be made accessible. And we've been after that since 2002. We're now in 2021. The issue of Harriet Tubman and her portrait being put on the $20 bill earlier this year raised more visibility to our specific issue, which has been, I think, a very good thing for the prospects of us at some point before I retire having accessible currency in this country. We have been profiled or quoted in publications such as the Wall Street Journal, thehill.com, where we had an editorial placed written by Dan Spoone, as well as an article that was written by the White House reporter for the Washington Post just within the last month. So this issue has received increased visibility, which is great for this issue. We are not going to let it go. Corporate America. We are viewed as a trusted partner by many corporations in this country, many of whom you will recognize as sponsors of this convention. The really nice thing about them sponsoring this convention is that they see the value in working with us. These relationships aren't transactional. We don't just see them at the convention. We work with these companies throughout the course of the year on any number of issues. Our relationships tend to begin with these companies as advocacy initiatives that grow into relationships and partnerships that in some cases have lasted 2 decades. One of these relationships is with Verizon, and more specifically Verizon Media. In March of this year, they reached out to us to inform us that they would like to donate digital ad space on some of their digital properties. So they own brands such as Yahoo, AOL, and others. And I'm very pleased that in June, we had our first ad that received 350,000 impressions promoting this very convention, which is fantastic. We also have an ad on Yahoo Finance right now that will receive 15 million views before it ends. And it is our 60 for 60 video that's located on acb.org. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about our organization, or if you wish to support any of these campaigns, please feel free to visit acb.org and click on the donate button. Finally, before I depart, I want to highlight a really cool event that's going to take place Friday night. One of our very best partners, corporate partners, has enthusiastically agreed to work with us to live stream the opening, well, not live stream, but to stream the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. If they were live streaming, we'd have to do it in the middle of the night. But Comcast, NBC Universal, the ability to have that and those opening ceremonies live streamed in audio and video, and to have that be audio described. Comcast has gone above and beyond the requirements by law and regulation. They are continuing to do really cool things with live audio description, such as the Thanksgiving Day Parade last year and many other musicals down through the years. It's great. Before that happens, we're going to do a pre-show. Kim Charlson and Clark Rackful will be interviewing Paralympians, Olympians, and some folks that work for NBC in engineering. By the way, Clark Rackful is a Paralympian, and he notified me that you're never a former Paralympian. I guess it's like being a Marine. You are always a Paralympian. So with that, I am so proud of the things that we are doing. The work that we do is critical. It is important, not just to ACB, but to the rest of the nation's blind and visually impaired population. But I would also argue a lot of the work that we are doing is having a profound impact on folks living around the world. We can't do this without you. While we have hired more people, we've done it strategically. I hope that you all get the opportunity to meet some of these fine folks throughout the course of the next year. And I can't wait to be with you all again in 2022 in person in Omaha. Thanks so much for your time and enjoy this wonderful convention. Dan, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Eric. What an amazing report from Eric Bridges, our executive director. And special thanks to the ACB staff. What an amazing set of activities and accomplishments that our staff, working with our members, have been able to pull together for this year. And at this point in time, I want to take a moment and thank our ACB Board of Directors, the group that partners with our staff, along with our steering committees and our overall committees, to do so much valuable work for this organization. And I'm very proud of what the board was able to accomplish this year, bleeding in from last year. First, approving the code of conduct and standing that up so that we each day and in each way show each other respect as we go through our activities inside of the American Council of the Blind. But besides our code of conduct, we have established 5 core values that this organization, its leaders, and its staff honor every day. Those 5 core values are integrity and honesty, respect, collaboration, flexibility, and boy, are we really spending a lot of effort in that one, and initiative. And our organization has lived up to all 5 of these core values. I thank the board for approving them, our membership for adopting them. Many of our affiliates have also adopted them. And thank you for making those difficult decisions and doing the right thing. Also making the difficult decisions to move forward with not only the virtual convention last year, but in a very timely fashion, electing to have a virtual convention this year so we could plan it accordingly. And also having a wonderful DC leadership conference. In the middle of a pandemic, we did not shrink when it came to how in the world do we go to Capitol Hill and advocate for our positions. We stood tall. We expanded our DC leadership conference. The Advocacy Steering Committee stepped up and hosted, with the direction of Clark Rackfall, our Advocacy and Governmental Affairs Director, an amazing DC leadership conference that featured wonderful panels from experts across the country, partners of ours, but not only our partners within disciplines of government and disability. We also reached out to our partners inside the blindness community and hosted the first ever fireside chat where we brought together partners and allies to work collaboratively, another one of our core values, for the betterment of the blind and low vision community. I want to also thank 2 board of directors who are rolling off as board members at the end of this convention. First, Sarah Altman. Many of you will remember her as Sarah Conrad, who joined the convention, who joined the board with me 9 years ago in 2012. Sarah, little did we know where life would take us on this journey with ACB. But thank you, Sarah, for all of your efforts helping our organization, enrolling from a student to now a proud attorney. We've watched you grow, and you have helped ACB grow. Thank you so much. And also thank you to Dan Dillon, a gentleman along with his wife Brenda, who helped introduce me at the national level to the American Council of the Blind. Today, our ACB Brenda Dillon Memorial Walk is in honor of Brenda Dillon, one of our leaders that we helped so guide our future. And Dan Dillon, you've always been a friend and a mentor. Thank you so much for all of your service to the American Council of the Blind. And we know both of you are not going anywhere. You may not be on the board, but we know we can still count on you for your volunteerism as true, solid members of the American Council of the Blind. I also want to thank Mitch Pomerantz, past president of the American Council of the Blind, but also delegate to the World Blind Union for 12 years. Mitch stepped up, and he was the first vice president of the North American Caribbean region. He helped on the employment committee. He has been an amazing mentor and an advocate for blind issues in the American Council of Blind throughout the world. Mitch, thank you so much for your service with ACB on the at the World Blind Union. And I also have to say congratulations to Kim Charlson, who is now the president of the North American Caribbean region of the World Blind Union. Congratulations, Kim. Thanks for representing us at this most recently completed World Blind Union quadrennial. And thank you for your guidance inside of ACB and representing us at the WBU. We also have really strengthened our 9 programs and services inside of the American Council of the Blind with the establishment of our steering committees with both a member and a staff lead. Those 9 programs: convention, advocacy, membership services, information referral and peer support, scholarship and awards, audio description project, public awareness, administration and management, and development and fundraising, have all grown over these last 2 years. They've all implemented the L10 traction meeting format and are establishing rocks, solving problems by identifying, discussing, and solving, and really moving this organization forward. So thanks to all of you. Thanks to our committee chairs. Thanks to our affiliate presidents. We all meet on a regular basis now with transparency and communications. I want to highlight our scholarships for this year. We have partnered, again, another word of partnership, with the American Foundation for the Blind to now be able to offer $90,000 a year in scholarships to 21 outstanding scholarship winners. You'll hear their interviews and presentations through our general sessions over the next 4 days. What an amazing group of young individuals who will be our advocates and leaders of the future. Thank you to the Scholarship Committee for all their hard work, and a special thanks to Nancy Marks Becker and Nancy Christine Fila, who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to help prepare these scholarship applications. This year, we broke a record with 154 applications for our scholarships. Absolutely outstanding. And in the area of audio description, wow, what progress we've made there. Special thanks to the Bay State Council of the Blind and to Kim Charlson and Brian Charlson for their work in a structured negotiation with HBO. That ended with HBO committing to offer 1,500 hours of audio described content this year. That will increase to 3,000 hours next year and 6,000 hours the year after that. They've also committed that 100% of all their new original content will be audio described and that their website will be fully accessible as well as their app. So thank you, Kim and Brian, for your efforts in that area. I also want to highlight, I believe, a one-of-a-kind primetime show that will take place tomorrow night when Carl Richardson will welcome 8 of the most amazing corporations in America to talk about streaming in the 21st century. This is the American Council of Blind, folks. We did it. We are hosting a primetime show with Netflix, Amazon, Apple, Disney, HBO, AT&T, Viacom CBS, and Comcast NBC Universal. Folks, it doesn't get any bigger than that. And Acb has brought those giants in the communications and media arena together to field our questions and help us understand how they're going to make audio description available for us now and forevermore. It's not a privilege, it's a right. We fought for it, we've earned it. Acb, we did it. I also want to thank those that will be honored tonight. You'll hear them a little bit later, but special thanks to the DKM Fund Committee for selecting 5 JP Morgan Chase Fellows and 2 Acb First Timers. You'll hear their stories this evening, but these are 7 tremendous future leaders of our organization. I want to close tonight by kind of sharing and reflecting on the message I left with you all last year, that in a pandemic, in a tragedy, in a time of upheaval, is a time when not only bad can happen, but also there's such an opportunity for good. We are seeing that. We are seeing that in legislation that has been proposed. There's opportunities with new bills that are being presented to Congress that will allow, we hope for, accessible voting, that will improve our situation in transportation, that will allow us to get the health, durable medical equipment that we need to live safe and healthy lives. There's many opportunities. We are coming together in an amazing collaborative effort. I'm also seeing what can only be expected, but periods of angst and maybe even sometimes anger coming out of the pandemic. It's a time that took a lot of our control away. And what we have is each other. And I want to encourage you, the message that will be in the August forum is entitled, Please Be Kind to Each Other. And I ask you so much as we continue down our journey as an ACB family that we need to be kind to each other in our thoughts, in our emails, in our conversations. I wanted to share a personal story with you that has stuck with me now for over 40 years. As you guys know, I'm kind of a sports fan, and I went to the University of Florida. That's right, young folks, 40 years ago. It was a long time ago. And back then, you didn't have to pay anything to go to a Gator baseball game. All you had to do was, bring a cooler and walk up to the field, sit down on wooden bleachers. You remember when you just had wooden bleachers, and if you weren't careful, you'd fall through them? Well, that's what the University of Florida baseball field was. And we were playing, say we, because I'm a Gator, but Florida was playing Vanderbilt, the Vanderbilt Commodores, who had a pretty doggone good baseball team. And it was, an SEC rivalry. And so me and my buddies, we were sitting there in the bleachers, and we were doing what 20-year-old college students do, right? We were razzing the heck out of those we were sitting behind the Vanderbilt dugout. We were giving that manager, giving that coach just the dickens, hey buddy, who's your tailor? Omar the tent maker? Good God, who thinks you look good in that uniform? My God, who cuts your hair? You cut your hair with a lawnmower. We're giving him the dickens. We're heckling him. We're kind of doing what people will do at baseball games, right? And and first inning goes, second inning goes, third inning goes, and all of a sudden, I look down and the plank below me in the wooden bleachers, the seat below me, there's a woman with her little 7-year-old daughter, and they're watching the game, and she starts to cry, and she looks at her mom, and she says, "Mommy." She says, "What, honey? What's wrong?" She said, "Mommy, why do those men behind us hate Daddy so much?" And I want to tell you, that hit me right there. I will remember it for the rest of my life. What you say and what you do has an impact on people that you don't even realize. So being kind is not hard, but it is so, so important. I ruined that little 8-year-old girl's vacation. She was having spring vacation on a nice March summer day in Florida, and I'm making her cry. I will never forget it. So I ask each of you, as you move through this convention, as you participate in community events, as you have committee meetings, whatever it is where you're interacting with other folks, please be kind. Your words matter. Now, having said that, I've got to end on a really happy note, and that is I want to talk to you about our community events and the work we've done a lot with the guidance of our membership services coordinator, Cindy Hollis. We have come together as an organization, blind people helping blind people, making a difference, not only helping each other with entertainment, with technology, with support, with, anything. Exercise, my wife is yelling from the other room. So anything that you want to do as an individual, we've probably got at a community event that will meet your needs. And if we don't, just give Cindy a call and we can have it on the air next week. To this date, we have had over 4,700 community events, which have impacted. Now, these are not unique individuals. We have had 125,000 touches. 125,000 times somebody has called in, Zoomed in, phoned in, whatever it took to get into an ACB community event to share their thoughts, their time, their talent. They have made a difference. We have made a difference in each other's lives. ACB, we did it. And my challenge to you, for all new members that are attending their ACB convention for the first time, and also for you old timers out there who it's your 30th or 40th convention, I have a challenge for you this week. Meet a new friend. Make a new acquaintance. Write me at dspoone@acb.org and let me know, who did you meet at this convention that you didn't know before? Make a contact. Make a connection. Grow your network. Grow your friends. This is what ACB is all about. I leave you tonight letting you know that ACB is healthy. We are strong. We are moving forward. And folks, we are going to be together in 2022 at the DC Leadership Conference in Washington, DC, and our 2022 convention in Omaha, Nebraska. Thank you. Thank you for being a member or a friend of ACB, and thank you for what you do for this organization.